She placed the coffee on the table, one cup at a time, while the men discussed million-dollar deals, never realizing she was the one who signed their checks. Laughter filled the room, but her silence spoke louder. And when the chairman introduced her as their new CEO, jaws dropped. One man, the same who'd asked her to serve, couldn't even lift his eyes. What happened in that room wasn't just awkward. It exposed everything. This is the story of a mistaken identity. That wasn't a mistake at all. Welcome, story lovers. From where are you watching? Comment the name of your city. Alicia Brooks had worked her way up from a modest apartment in Detroit to the top floor of a sleek Manhattan skyscraper. Ivy League degree, 2 tech startups, and now at just 38, she was the newly appointed CEO of a billion-dollar company. But no one knew that yet. Today was her first day unannounced. She wanted to see the company through unfiltered eyes, observe the team, feel the culture. So she walked into the boardroom early, dressed in a neutral blouse and slacks, no makeup, no entourage. She looked more like a mid-level assistant than the one with final say on their salaries. The room buzzed with casual chatter, a few glances tossed her way, none lingering. Then a man in a crisp suit glanced up and said, "Could you bringing coffee for everyone?" Alicia froze, but only for a breath. What happened next would leave the entire boardroom speechless. Alicia calmly walked out of the boardroom without saying a word, her heels clicking down the corridor like a metronome counting down. In the break room, she poured the coffee herself, steady hands, tight smile, then returned and placed the tray on the table, 1 cup at a time. Laughter carried on around her. Like she didn't exist, the man who'd asked for coffee didn't even say thank you. Introductions began. Senior executives took their places. Still, no one questioned who she was. One VP glanced at her, then said under his breath, "Hope the real CEO shows up before lunch." That was the moment her chest tightened, not in fear, but in something colder, familiar, the casual arrogance, the coded glances, the way no one imagined someone who looked like her belonged at the top. She sat in the far corner silently, watching, listening. They discussed quarterly losses, staff turnover, and culture issues. Irony hung thick in the air. Then the door opened. The chairman walked in, all smiles. "Everyone, thank you for being here. Let me introduce our new CEO, Ms. Alicia Brooks." Silence. One by one, heads turned toward the woman they'd ignored, dismissed, and asked to serve them. Alicia rose slowly, the tray still beside her. No one made eye contact. But she wasn't done. Not yet. What she said next wouldn't just shift the mood, it would shake the company's entire foundation, and someone at that table would soon regret ever underestimating her. Alicia stepped to the head of the table. "No notes, no slides. Just a quiet, controlled voice. I listened to every word you said about culture, leadership, innovation, and yet not one of you thought to ask who I was. You saw a black woman and assumed I was the help." A pin could have dropped. She scanned. The faces red with embarrassment, stiff with shock. The man who'd asked for coffee shrank in his chair. "I'm not here just to run this company. I'm here to change it." The silence stretched long, raw, uncomfortable. One executive dropped his pen. Another shifted nervously. In that moment, she wasn't just the CEO. She was every underestimated, overlooked, and disrespected woman who came before her, and they all felt it. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like, it really helps. The meeting resumed, but nothing felt the same. Alicia laid out her vision with sharp clarity: diversity audits, inclusive hiring, accountability at every level. The executives nodded, but their eyes told another story: discomfort, reflection, maybe even shame. By the week's end, 2 resignations came in. Culture didn't change overnight, but the message was loud and irreversible for Alicia. This wasn't just a personal victory. It was proof that quiet dignity could challenge loud ignorance. That presence, unapologetic, undeniable, could be more powerful than protest. But she also knew she was one of the lucky ones. Too many others are still silenced, still unseen. So ask yourself, how many more boardrooms, classrooms, and streets must this play out in before it finally stops? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.